Okay, so let's take a comfortable seat to get started. Thank you for being here this afternoon. You can rest your hands in your lap. And as you arrive today, no matter how you arrived in your ideal yogic mind and body or less ideal, wherever you happen to be on the spectrum, appreciate yourself for being here and remind yourself that yoga helps. Yoga can help you. And welcome yourself in the arriving process to, I use this image from Star Trek, let yourself become pixelated so all of your parts are here at the same time that you disembark what is non-essential for your practice. So future planning, for example, past reviewing, trying to memorize your to-do list, set that aside. So let all of your parts arrive here, like all your pixels are making it to be here present. And again, set aside that which is non-essential. And when you go through those processes mentally and physically, the arriving and the sort of disembarking, as I called it, as you go through that process, now lengthen your spine and set your posture to be the expression of your dedication, which you've already shown in arriving here. So we just increase that gently in the posture of your body. And then let your breathing move smoothly through your body to the best of its ability. Your breath and the smoothness of the breath is dependent upon how welcomed your breath feels in your body and how elegantly you partner with the musculoskeletal aspect of breathing. And consider how you might explore at this moment the inhale, first third, middle third, upper third. Just sensing what is that rhythm today and what you can experience about your exhale, toning from the lowest part of the abdomen and that tone moving upwards. And then last thing is to sense the pauses in your breath cycle. Where are they and how do they feel this afternoon? And join your hands together in Anjali Mudra. May our practice help us to increase our capacity and to release that which is burdening our capacity. And by capacity, I mean to live a vital life, to live in your integrity or your ethics, your capacity for authenticity. So we'll chant Asatoma Satgamaya. Let's begin. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. And with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. And release your hands. Please open your eyes. I see that those of you who are here have been coming consistently, so we're going to go into the pranayama for your immediate direct experience, less instruction and more simply experiencing it. So we'll do bhastrika, 30 exhales with inhale suspension to follow. Let's begin. Exhale. Breathe in through both nostrils, up to suspension. Release the bandhas. Exhale from the bottom upwards. Briefly pause. Repeat. Breathe in. Exhale through both nostrils. At the bottom of your exhale, please inhale back to suspension. Close the right nostril. Exhale left side. Inhale both. Close the left. Exhale right. Deeply relax. Now kappalabhati through both nostrils. Exhale. Inhale both nostrils up to suspension. Close the right. Exhale left. Inhale both up to suspension. Close the left. Exhale right. Deeply relax. Now bring the right hand up. We're going to be doing kappalabhati, like it's a kriya, left, right, left, right, left, right. So you're making the opening for the exhale half as small, only one nostril at a time. That means the diaphragm has to work more elegantly and the pace is going to be different. It'll be a little quicker. So do your best. You can do 5 left, 5 right, 4, 4, 3, 3, and get down to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, but let's do it together. Exhale completely. Inhale through both nostrils up to suspension. Close the right nostril. Exhale left side completely. Inhale left up to suspension. Close the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale completely. Deeply relax, and if it feels natural, your attention may be up at the 6th chakra, between the eyebrows. And we're going to practice awakening the internal structures of the chest, heart, and lungs, the musculoskeletal region there from the inside, and helping the thoracic spine to be more flexible as well. So I'd like you to have 2 blankets and your yoga mat, and you may need a couple of blocks to make part of the sequence more comfortable for you. Let me get my water glass and my microphone. Okay, I'm going to turn my mat the other way. I don't have a crisscross mat right now because I'm cleaning the yoga mats and they aren't yet dry. So I just have this one from my friend Ashley from her company that makes yoga mats. Okay, so I'd like you to start with your yoga props close by, but let's do this flat on the floor to begin. So if you take a reclined position with your knees bent, place the arms out in a T shape. There you go. And let's just come to notice first, what is the influence of the breath there from what you were just doing? What is the feeling tone in your body? Now I'm going to ask you to use your Ujjayi breath and for the inhale to be relatively equal to the exhale. And as we go through the sequence, there are a couple of variations that we'll do, and we'll pause each time to feel what's happening to the central channel. Okay, so arms out in a T shape first, and feet as wide as your mat with your knees bent. Okay, and let's use the inhale while we're centered or returning to center. And then exhale, lower both knees to your right, like windshield wipers. Press your left hip forward so the hip flexors open. Rotate your chest and heart and your nose to your left. Then inhale, rise up to center. And exhale down to your left with your knees. Twist your chest and heart and nose to your right. Now we're going to make this a moving practice. So inhale to center, whatever the length of your in-breath is. Exhale, knees right, nose left. Inhale, knees and nose to center at your pace. Continuing at your breath pace. See if you can have the distance that your knees and your nose are traveling are different, but can they synchronize? So though the knees move farther than the nose, can they work together to arrive in the poses simultaneously? And consider less like how many repetitions can you get in a certain amount of time, and more consideration for the elegance and the synchronization of what you're doing. So we're also working with your brain right now, this sort of cross hemisphere rhythmic synchronization process, and that does not need to be rushed. Let's go one more time. Knees left, nose right. Whenever that comes around for you, let that be the last one. And then roll yourself up to center and to the first side to stay a while. So both knees to your right now. Turn your chest and heart to your left. I'm going to ask you for a couple of specific things. So one of those is, I do want you to squeeze the left butt. So you're pressing your left hip forward into the hip flexors to open. Lengthen your left thigh like a telescope. With your chest and heart, press your right arm down firmly to help rotate your chest to your left. Invite the left arm to be passive, so it's the downward pressure of your right arm that's going to help you to rotate your chest to the right. Rather than any kind of pulling effort with the left arm, it's the pressure down with your right shoulder, right upper arm, right elbow, right hand. And then with an exhale, release your pose, roll up to center. Now let's take both knees down to the left, stay a few breath cycles, and press your right butt strongly forward. So you're going to open the hip flexors. Telescope your right knee so it's a little bit longer. And then actively press your left shoulder down, left arm down, so that you're turning your chest to the right, but your right arm's very relaxed about it. And specifically, use the downward pressure of your left shoulder. So the back of the shoulder blade could come to the floor. And that anchor can help to motivate your chest and your thoracic spine to twist to the right. And then exhale, roll yourself up to center. Now take one block, please, and place it under the back of your pelvis. This is called supported bridge pose. And we're going to do a short pranayama to see how things are feeling. Then we'll go back into the physical practice. So with your inhalation, see if you can sense. Inhale at the pelvic floor. Inhale into the pelvis itself. Inhale, moving through the body up towards your heart. And then can you sense the exhale traveling from the pelvic floor, also through the deep low abdomen and to the interior, up the same pathway. They share the central channel here. Start to get curious about the thermometer. I'm being playful about the word thermometer. Like, how far up can you sense the inhale is able to come? And how far up does the exhale? And it's not that we're measuring the actual substance of inhale or exhale, it's the sensations of inhale and exhale. Good, and then lift your hips, put the block aside, but keep it within reach. And take both of your blankets, folded as they are, and slide them under the back of your pelvis. And let's take both blankets so that you have your hips at the center of the stack of blankets. And then take the block between your knees. Look, there's a ledge to the right and there's a ledge to the left, and we're not going that far down. So hopefully your hips will be able to roll on the width of the blanket that you have, and you're not going to feel like you're falling off the blankets. If you have a lump, you got to move to where there's no lump, which is what I was just doing. Okay, arms out in a T shape. Now there's two positions for the knees. One is going to be all the way snug into the chest, and one is going to be this 90-90. And we're going to start at 90-90. So breathing in here at the center. Then exhale, knees right, nose left. Press down through your right arm for stability. Inhale, knees and nose up to center. Anchor your right shoulder and right arm for stability. Exhale, knees left, nose right. Anchor the left shoulder. It is stabilizing you right now. Inhale up to center. Press your left shoulder down to support the process. Let's continue. Exhale, knees right, nose left. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees left, nose right. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees right, nose left. Inhale, center. And once more, exhale, knees left, nose right. Inhale to center. Now bring your knees snugly in towards your chest, as snug as they can be. So this bit of extra flexion is purposeful for your lower back and mid back. And I'm also trying to move the twist in your thoracic spine. It's a little bit different orientation. Okay, so again, exhale. Now the knees come towards your right upper arm or towards your elbow or your armpit. You can think whatever structure you want to think of there. And then up to center. Okay, knees left, nose right. Inhale to center. Exhale, knees right, nose left. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees left, nose right. Inhale, center. We're going to continue just a couple times more. You are likely using some abdominal muscles right now. That's a good thing. We're also using some of the muscles in the upper thoracic region. Last time, knees left, nose right. And then take the block and set it aside. Now I'm going to give instruction here, and you may or may not need to see what I'm doing. My verbal instruction should be good enough, but in the event that you want to see, you also may want to position your video camera where you could see. So let's relax after the exertion and let the abdominal muscles and the thoracic muscles smooth out. And notice what your body does at the end of an exhale. Is there a feeling of it's kind of calm and no urgency for the inhale, or somewhere heading in that direction? Or does the exhale feel like it must immediately go to the inhale? Could you consider having a gentle pause there? Now here's the practice that we'll do. We're going to inhale first third, middle third, upper third. I do want you to sense the breath is what's lifting your heart towards your chin. Then we're going to exhale, lower belly, mid belly, upper chest muscles that help with the exhale. At the end of the exhale, we're not going to inhale, but we're going to radically relax the muscles that made the exhale. And you can either stay right there in that exhale pause with some of that work that we do in the belly to radically relax the muscles, or you can take it all the way to exhale suspension, in which case you make the pretend inhalation that becomes Uddiyana Bandha. We've been talking about this since Monday-ish, so let's run the experiment and see what questions or capacities come. It's contraindicated to do Uddiyana Bandha when you have your menstrual cycle or when you're pregnant. I hope those are obvious to you. It's also considered contraindicated if you have acid reflux or GERD, if you have indigestion. There's a few other considerations too, but I'll leave that for another discussion. Okay, let's start with the inhale. First, middle, and upper. And exhale, lower abdomen, mid abdomen when it's time, and then upper chest. To expel the exhale completely, you're going to hold the exhale out and then radically relax the muscles that made the exhalation. You can add a pretend inhalation for the full experience of the bandhas and check and see if that pretend inhalation makes a bandha that goes from the pelvic floor up through the inner seam of the body. Then you release the bandhas before you inhale. Let's try it one more time. So at your own pace, the inhale first, then middle and upper third. And then exhale, low third, middle third. At the end of the exhale, you're going to feel some of the upper chest muscles also exhaling. And then you deeply relax the belly muscles that made the exhale. And suspend your exhale. Then release the bandhas before you inhale. and rest quietly. Now stretch your left leg straight out, so you have a momentary stretch for the left psoas. Bring your right knee up to your chest. It's helpful to have your block close by, or you might need both of your blocks to be close by. And stack the blocks on the left side of your mat. And then bring your right knee and hip up and over. This used to be called alligator twist, and I never got the question answered, why was it called alligator twist? I never saw alligators doing it. I never imagined an alligator trying this, but it used to be called alligator twist. Okay. Press into your left upper arm to help twist your chest to your right and gaze to your right. So for those of you in the class who've had a hip replacement like me, your knee, you can cross the midline here depending on your sensitivity, your musculoskeletal structure, the apparatus that you were offered in the surgery, but there's no need to take the femur down past the height of your hip into adduction. So I'm going to recommend you keep your hip and your femur at the same height, which is one reason to stack the blocks for anybody who's had a hip replacement. And for all of us, let's lengthen the right thigh like a telescope. Press into the left upper arm. So the twist, you may actually feel some of that in the iliacus or in the side waist or your right upper chest. And then when you next exhale, roll yourself up to center. Place your right foot flat on the floor, left knee flat on the floor. Center your hips. Move your construction project to the other side. Lengthen your right leg out, left knee in. Open the right psoas momentarily. And then come across with your left leg. As you come over, you can place your left shin on your blocks, or if you've got a lot of blocks, you could use blocks for the knee and for the ankle. Please press into your right upper arm to help you with your twist to your left. Lengthen your left thigh like a telescope, stretching it out from your hip towards your kneecap. And then again, please exhale and roll back to center. So both hips on the blanket and place your feet flat on the floor. Okay, and now we're going to take the blankets under the upper back instead of under the hips. So please release your blankets, roll to your side, and you can scoot yourself about like a break dancer, or you can do it as I'm doing it mechanically. Okay, so you have two blankets and you have your blocks nearby. Let's go over the blankets backwards. The blankets are for your upper chest. For anybody whose neck is sensitive, maybe less flexible, you can put a block under your head. And let's take the arms into cactus pose, please. Like this. Okay, so the width of the blankets, from the upper arm down to the rib cage, the dimension of the blankets there and your dimension, that's all going to be unique because none of us is the same dimension from the upper part of the upper arm here down to the floating ribs. But I don't want you to sense that your blankets are any lower on your torso than the back of your diaphragm. so that you could almost sense like a little ski slope here from the solar plexus down into this myofascial region underneath the hips and the ribs, underneath the ribs and the organs. The arms in cactus pose. Let's take a deep breath. Low third, middle third, upper third. Notice the lift you're able to create there with the breath. And then exhale from the lower third, the mid third, and notice the kind of tone you use in the upper chest to support the exhale. Repeat that, please. Now I'd like to give you a chance to feel this before Shavasana because you have done the practice that leads to this. Now we can practice the exhale suspension. So what happens there is at the end of the exhale, you've toned the belly muscles. You're going to radically relax the deep belly, the mid belly, and even the chest. And right there is the beginning of exhale suspension. If you add a pretend inhale, if you add that, you may sense how the Uddiyana Bandha comes up. And you might get a sense of the cave of the rib cage here. So let's try that once, twice if you like it. So your inhale is first third, middle and upper. And then exhale, low third, mid third, even the upper chest. At the end of the exhale, when the breath is held out, you may explore. Then release the bandhas before you inhale. If you'd like to try that one more time, you're welcome to. My hope is that you're able to sense something in the cave of the rib cage, the upper abdomen. So you can try it one more time if you like. And you always release the bandhas before you inhale. Now place the block that's under your head, place it a little bit to the right so you only have half of your head on the block, and turn your nose to your left. You may feel the right upper trapezius or scalenes or levator scapula stretching. Roll your head to center. Move the block so only half of your head is on the block, the left half. And then tip your nose down to the right. And roll that back up to center. And then roll sideways, and you could break dance around to the other side. And come to Shavasana. So you may not realize, so I'll say, how much you have massaged the inner body here. So please rest. Rest with positive anticipations. You can place the hands wherever you're inclined to right now. And simply watch your body receiving the echo of all that medicine inside. May this also deeply nourish your brain and your heart and your lungs and your connection to your best self, your wisest self. Allow yourself to rest completely, to deeply surrender. Welcoming this quiet or the possibility of quiet to be intrinsic to you. As I said yesterday, the stillness that is magnetically pulling us back home. Don't let it get disturbed as we transition to share a simple seat in meditation for a couple of minutes. And please join your hands together at your heart. And may this practice increase our capacity, our resilience. May it remove that which burdens our capacity or our resilience. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. It would not surprise me if you need a longer period of integration from this practice. That might be the most wise and kind thing you can do for yourself. You might feel like you need a nap or some simple food nourishment that you taste completely and enjoy, feel satiated by. You might have an instinct to walk in nature or to stay in your meditation seat. I will come to see you a little closer here. Let me change my camera so I can see you better. Thank you, Nancy, for your note. Nice to see.